Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we are coming at you with a little dessert recipe for Valentine's Day, which we are calling our Strawberry Bounty Bites.
So this recipe is, like the drum roll, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, and paleo.
So if you guys have any food sensitivities or allergies, this is likely going to be a-okay for you and perfect for Valentine's Day. They're also refined sugar-free actually.
So you could really eat it for breakfast as well if you wanted.
So these make for great little treats, for gifts for loved ones over Valentine's Day, or gifts to yourself, because you don't need to be giving gifts to partners and things on Valentine's Day. Who needs like
a Valentine? You can be your own Valentine.
Should we show them?
Yeah.
So this is the finished product.
Let's take a bite. Let's do it.
And let's take a bite.
Oh, I've got a rose petal.
So ours, we'll explain in the recipe, but ours are very, very bright and psychedelic because we've also used dragon fruit powder. But you need not have it. It also looks great when you just use strawberries as well.
Or you could add in like some other colouring, so like beet powder or beet juice if you don't have like specifically dragon fruit powder available, which I know a lot of you guys might not. But yeah, definitely lots of different ingredients that you can use to colour these.
Yeah, so these are chocolatey, creamy, lovely and sweet, and also with a hint of strawberry flavour. So we're going to jump right in and show you guys how to make them. Okay, so for our ingredients for this recipe, we're going to be starting with coconut butter. Now, coconut butter, you may have used this before. It's basically a butter made from the coconut meat, and it's really great for making the filling smooth and creamy. And if you're not sure where to buy it, you can find it usually at your health food store. So you'll also need 1.5 cups of desiccated coconut. Now this is going to give you a nice texture of a bounty bar. We also add 1 cup of fresh strawberries, which is great for some natural colouring as well as flavour. And for sweetness, we also add a tablespoon of stevia. So every dessert is always better with a teaspoon of vanilla paste, and also optionally a tablespoon of pink dragon fruit powder. Now this adds a really great colour. If you can't find it at your health food store, you could also opt for beet juice, but we found ours at the Source Bulk Foods here in Brisbane, Australia. And the final ingredient here is just 60 grams of dark chocolate. We've opted for the 90% Lindt chocolate.
Okay, so to get started with this recipe, we're going to measure out 100 grams of our coconut butter and pop that into a pan. So especially if you're living in a colder climate, it is likely that your coconut butter has separated. So we're just going to warm that slowly in the pan until it forms a nice creamy texture. And then next up, we're going to start chopping our fresh strawberries. So just taking off the ends and then slicing them into halves. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like a Valentine's recipe would be complete without strawberries. They just make the perfect addition to this recipe. They're also great for adding flavour as well as a little bit of colouring as well. So once we're done with the strawberries, we're just going to add all of our ingredients except for the chocolate into our food processor. So starting with our warmed up coconut butter. Then we're going to add in our 1.5 cups of desiccated coconut, our cup of strawberries, our tablespoon of stevia, 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, and optionally a tablespoon of dragon fruit powder or 2 tablespoons of beetroot juice. So then we're just going to process those ingredients for about a minute or so. So we don't want to overdo it, we want our desiccated coconut to still have some texture. And then make sure that you do stop it halfway through just to scrape down the sides and make sure that the colouring spreads evenly throughout the mixture. So once we're all done, you should be left with a beautiful pinky purple mixture, and it should still have a little bit of texture, so from that desiccated coconut. So then you're just going to want to pop some baking paper down onto a plate, and we're going to start rolling the mixture with our hands. So make sure that you have clean hands for this part, and we're just going to roll them into little bite-sized pieces. And this amount of mixture should make about 14 bite-sized pieces. And once they're all done, we're just going to pop them into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes just to give them some time to firm up before we roll them in our chocolate. So meanwhile, we're going to start heating up our chocolate. So we're using the 90% dark chocolate by Lindt, and we're going to be using about 6 squares today. So we're just going to pop that into our pan and slowly melt that on a medium heat. So now we're up to the fun part. You want to take your treats out of the freezer, so they should be nice and firm by now, and we're going to start rolling these babies in our chocolate. So just getting in there with your hands and making sure that they're nice and well covered. You also want to make sure that you're popping these onto a plate that is lined with baking paper. So we learnt this the hard way. You do not want to be putting these straight onto a plate. You want to make sure they're on baking paper so you can pop them off nice and easily when they're done. And as you can see from ours, they definitely do not need to be perfect. In fact, I think the fact that they're a little bit rough just adds to their charm. Then we're just going to add them back into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes to allow that chocolate to cool down and solidify. Then you can just pop them out of the freezer and they're all ready to eat. So we absolutely love this recipe. They taste just like a Bounty bar but with a strawberry spin, and they make the perfect Valentine's treat. So whether you're making them for somebody else or making them for yourself, we would highly encourage you to try out this recipe. And if you do try this one out, let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!